It's the Sean Widmer Podcast. It's a journal by someone that just really doesn't like to write.
Thanks for checking out the Sean Widmer Podcast on a Friday. At least that's the recording release date of this one. Recording it late Thursday night. Thursday evening, I guess it would be. Late Thursday night makes it sound like it's the middle of the night. My kids are still awake, so it's just Thursday night. Hi. For those of you who want to know what's coming up on the show today, I'm going to do some last meal discussion based on a YouTube channel that I really enjoy, an interview show I really enjoy. If I was on it, we're going to get into that. I need to talk about a high five that I saw today, or not a high five, a wave that I might need to incorporate. I want to talk about stuff in movie theaters. I would love to talk about the fact that yesterday, on the 13th of November, the penny was killed. We're not doing pennies anymore in America, but I already talked about that over on Patreon. If you're on Patreon, you get a video every day. And yesterday's, I talked about the penny. It did lead to a discussion with Kevin James that he and I believe in wholeheartedly. And Kevin sold me on this forever ago. The $50 bill is the best currency we have in America. It's the coolest currency in America. That's not a, what are they? The Indian penny? Is that the one? Let me look. Was that what it was called? I think that's the really expensive one. Let's see what that is. The Indian head penny. It's worth if you have one of those, they're crazy expensive because they're vintage and rare and whatever. In terms of just currency that's out there, the $50 bill is the coolest one for sure. Don't come at me with the $2 bill. $2 bills are great. This is not a shot at $2 bills. A $2 bill is unique. A $2 bill is cool. They're out there, I think, more than people want to believe they are. You'll run into someone who's like, oh, look at this. And they pull out a $2 bill like they're the only person who has a $2 bill. And then you'll meet 500 more of those people. And says, I think people want them to be more rare than they are. A $50 bill is super unique. When was the last time you saw a $50 bill? And when was the last time you saw a $2 bill? I'm guessing you've probably seen a $2 bill more recently than a $50. All right. I'm not going to get into it too much. Who's on the $50 bill? $50 bill. All right. And again, we're not talking about the rare, weird ones. I feel like there's a $1,000 bill. I've never seen one. There's the 50-cent piece I think is really cool. I don't think they're in circulation regularly. Is this Ulysses S. Grant? Sure is. Ulysses, man. Ulysses, you own it. You're the best. You're the king. You're the king. You're on the coolest piece of currency. Okay, anyways. If you want to hear about the penny, go to Patreon. Let's start with this. Let's start with in the house, parenting. Parenting. We're excited in the Widmer house for something because earlier in the week, Wednesday, Nintendo, at a Nintendo Direct, I believe it was, the new Mario movie got a trailer. Super Mario Galaxy got a trailer. And we have watched it 1 million times, maybe 2 million times in our house in 48 hours. We love the Mario movie. I love the Mario movie. And so I was very excited when I saw there was a new trailer to show my kids, not realizing how much they would like it. We have watched it so much. They actually think it is the movie. So Huck is under the belief, he's operating under the fact that the Super Mario Galaxy movie trailer is the movie. So it's been great. It's been fun to watch. I think it's going to be an awesome movie. I hope this franchise continues for a long time. And I hope they just pump out movies quickly. It's an amazing world they can tap into. Full of story, full of characters, full of things they can do. Just keep on pumping out Mario movies. They're great. I was thinking this, though, and this is not meant to be old man yells at cloud or when I was a kid, I was young. I don't mean it to be that. I just wanted to give a shout out to something that I thought was really cool growing up. Because right now, if I wanted to go check out what movies are coming out, I can go to the internet and type in, upcoming movies 2025. And they'll show me the movies, and a lot of the websites will have the trailers from YouTube linked to that specific title. And so you can very readily have the trailers at your fingertips, which is awesome because I love movie trailers. I love them. I do miss, and this is now becoming when I was a kid, there was a magic to going to the movie theater and the movie trailer started, and it was the first time you realized there was a new Star Wars movie coming out, or the first time you realized, there was going to be a new Disney animated movie you hadn't heard about. You heard about it first at the movie theater when the movie trailer started. It was so cool. And you'd be like, dude, I saw, there's a new trailer. There's a new Jim Carrey comedy coming out. It's going to be great. I saw the trailer. It's going to be awesome. Oh, the next, I just saw the trailer. I was at the movies and I just saw the trailer for the next Lord of the Rings. I remember those ones. It's like I was just at Too Fast, Too Furious, and they just showed the trailer for Return of the King. It looks like it's going to be insane. I do miss that a little bit, finding your movie trailers and learning about your movies at the movie theater. I love it the way it is today, but there was a magic that doesn't exist anymore with that movie theater experience, not knowing what movie trailer you're going to see, where now, there's a countdown. It's like, okay, Fast and the Furious 15, that trailer releases on this date, and you can wait for it. You didn't know what was coming up on the movie trailers before the movie you were seeing. It was a surprise. Okay, so speaking of the internet, one of the things I love on the World Wide Web, I love the show Hot Ones. What's his name? Sean Evans, not Gonzaga's Sean Evans, but Hot Ones Sean Evans, interviews celebrities while they eat hot wings. So people have taken plays off of that. Well, Rhett and Link, and I never remember the guy's name. Let me see if I can find his name again. Josh, Chef Josh. Love him. Chef Josh hosts Last Meals. It is from the mythical world, which Rhett and Link, Good Mythical Morning, they started. It is an interview show where Chef Josh interviews celebrities, but it's not with hot wings. He has them sit down and eat their last meal. So they go through, and I want to say they get 8 items, and they work through the interview with 2 items at a time coming to the table. And then they talk about why this would be on their last meal. And it's a mix of your favorite foods, whether some people go in and they're like, favorite food, I like clam chowder, and so they make a really good clam chowder. But some people will be like, I like this specific clam chowder, and so they'll bring in that specific one. So I was watching, they had Brennan Lee Mulligan was on recently. William H. Macy was just on yesterday's. So it was a really good one. But Brennan Lee Mulligan was on. He's like the Michael Jordan of Dungeons and Dragons. And he was on, and I was watching, and I was like, this, not only am I enjoying this interview, but I like the foods. I like the descriptions. If I ended up on the show Last Meals, what would I have on there? So I came up with 6. I think you have to do 8, but I've got 6 things here that I would need to have at the table. And in the comments, whether you're watching on YouTube or Spotify, or you can go to seanslife.com, what's going to be, let's do 6. They go 2 at a time at the table. What's going to be on this table for you over the course of this? You're going to be gluttonous here. You're going to be gluttonous. It's a lot of food. It's your last meal. You got to go all out. There's no stipulations. So here is my first run when they come out to start it. And this was the very first item that was in my mind when I thought of this. From Wild Sage in downtown Spokane, the Yukon Taquitos. I believe this to be the single greatest menu item in America. Okay? Period. And this is coming from someone who is not a fancy food guy. I am not a fine dining enthusiast, but Wild Sage's windows say fine dining on the windows. My wife and I would go there for our anniversaries when we lived there in Spokane. Well, we'd go there for her birthday, and then that turned into anniversaries. And the Yukon Taquitos are the best appetizer in America. Yukon gold potato, white cheddar, chili lime sauce, avocado, salted cabbage. They're almost more of like a birria taquito. Like they look more like a birria taco than a taquito. They're the best. Andrew Dresbeck and I talk about this a lot. He went to an event one time. It was a birthday. I think it was a 40th birthday party they had downtown Spokane in the penthouse suite of the Davenport. And this dude's wife had the food catered in. And what did he want? An entire tray filled with the Yukon Taquitos. I was like, Andrew, how many did you have? He said, as many as I could. It's the dream to have these things, Yukon taquitos. And alongside the Yukon taquitos, I don't have a specific place for these. I really like the ones from the Yolks, Latah Creek Yolks in Spokane. I've had the ones from Kroger here in Lexington. They're equally good. A bacon-wrapped stuffed jalapeno. And I think I want it to be some sort of like imitation crab seafood stuffed jalapeno wrapped in bacon and, so much cheese, jalapeno, that wonderful bacon on the outside. This was in Spokane, my go-to Seahawks snack. On Seahawks game day, I'd get 6 of these at the bottom of the hill at the grocery store, and I'd make them during Seahawks games. I just love them. So those would be my first 2 things. The interview goes, we're talking, catching up. Next round of items, 2 more things. I feel like there's sort of an Asian theme in this one. I want the pad thai from Sayla Thai in Airway Heights. Sayla Thai in Airway Heights is my favorite Thai restaurant, and I love their pad thai. I love pad thai in general, so I mean it could be pad thai in general, but there's something magical about Sayla Thai's pad thai, and maybe it's the pad thai itself, but it could also very much be that was Andy. Andy introduced me to that place, and he would be who I'd go with to Sayla Thai. And we didn't go there a ton, but we went there enough to make it special for him. He's like tied into Sayla Thai for me, and it ended up being comfort food for me moving on in life. Like when I was sick, or if I just had a hard day at work or a rough week and I needed to pick me up, I would go to Sayla Thai and get their pad thai. I never knew when they were open. I feel like they had weird hours, but Sayla Thai's pad thai. And then next to that, I would want my Moon's Mongolian, my Mongolian grill, but I'd want it to be Moon's Mongolian plate. And I would probably have to go through in my head and figure how to make it, but it would be the chicken, maybe a couple things of their beef, right? You get the frozen meats to start. Then I'd go down the line. I'd get the white onions. I get the green onions. I get the mushrooms. I get a couple carrots. I get pineapple. I'm missing something important. I get the sprouts. Okay. And I think that's it for like the veggies. Then I get the rice noodle, not rice noodles. They're thinner noodles. Okay. They're thinner than spaghetti noodles. I don't know what those ones are called. I get those noodles. I get some cilantro, some jalapeno on it. Put a couple scoops of soy sauce. Man, I'm forgetting how it works. A couple scoops, soy sauce, garlic sauce. This is the dipping sauces at Moon's Mongolian. The sesame oil. Yeah. And then the chili oil. And then I ask for teriyaki and a lot of teriyaki from the chef. Really, I could do 6 plates of that. But that would be my 2 items next to come. So then to end it, my last 2 items for my last meal interview, I would want the South Perry Pizza in Spokane. South Perry Pizza, the house. This is one of my all-time favorite pizzas in America. I love this pizza. And it has a lot of, I like it because it was there through a lot of my life. When South Perry Pizza first opened, I would go there a lot. And I would get the house pizza then. And then it became into Andy and Jalen liked it. Andy's brother had a juice business that he ran down the street from it. So if we'd go to see John at the juice business, then go up to South Perry, get a pizza. And then Anna and I, our very first apartment was in South Perry. And when she was on work trips, I would go on the weekend. If she was on a weekend work trip, I would always go to South Perry and get the house and bring it home. And Jovi and I would sit on the couch and I'd play video games and eat the house. But I would see if I could add anchovies. Since it's my last meal, if I'm going to make an addendum, I want to see if they can add anchovies. Let me bring up what's on the house pizza from South Perry Pizza menu. All right, here we go. The house, and I will say this, overall, I didn't love a lot of the South Perry Pizza pizzas because they had some fancy ones, right? I don't like fancy ones. Flying Goat in Spokane, a lot of people loved. I didn't want an egg on my pizza. I didn't want a whole lot of greenery on my pizza. I know it for a lot of people it works. But for me, I don't love it. I don't need fresh basil. I just don't. I don't need Roma tomatoes. I don't need, there's one artichoke. That's the thing I'm thinking of. I don't need artichoke. The house at South Perry is tomato sauce, mozzarella, Casacano Farms Italian sausage, pepperoni, mushroom, caramelized onions, and then if you threw some anchovies on there, ooh, my goodness, that would be great. So that would be my thing. And then my last item, I felt like I needed a sweet treat in there. And this is just a shout out to my dad. Chocolate milkshake. I do not get a lot of chocolate milkshakes. It would need to be more of a homemade vibe. I love my dad. And my dad growing up, I think, like a lot of dads, he was supporting the family. He's working a lot. He coached. He was not always around the house. And so a lot of the fun memories of after school stuff are with my sister because she and I are, playing and all that stuff at the house. And my mom would be around, but we'd be with our friends. I'd be with Micah or Kenny, and we'd be doing that. And then we'd get home, and sometimes Dad would be around later that night. And if he was, he's working, he's got schoolwork, he's a teacher, he'd be correcting papers, working on lesson plans after dinner. But occasionally he would be like, guys, who needs a chocolate milkshake? And I just remember thinking, this is magical. My dad is making us chocolate milkshakes, and he would get excited about it because he wanted one. And so it's like, Dad wants one, I want one. We all want these things together. And it was this cool moment. But, he made a thicker chocolate milkshake, a lot heavier on the ice cream than the milk. So they were so good. So I think I'd wash all that down with the chocolate milkshake. And that's my last meal menu item. My menu items. If I get two more, I'd have to think about it. But those would be the 6. I forget if they had 6 or 8. That's mine. There you go. Thank you for being here for my food discussion.
Kelly's, what are you into?
We finished with this. It's going to be hard to explain if you're not watching the video. So this is a big one for the people watching the video on Spotify or over on YouTube. I was walking today at my lunch walk, and I was walking, and a truck was coming by me, and it looked like the truck was going pretty fast, but I had a lot of time to see the guy coming at me, and I always wave at the cars that are coming by me. I don't know why. Just give him a wave. And this older gentleman in this farm pickup hit me with the wave that I need to start incorporating if I can remember it. He just put his hand straight up and then broke his wrist. And that was it. And he kind of had all the fingers up, and then it kind of dropped to 2 fingers sticking out. But he didn't wave it back and forth. It was just hand straight up, broke the wrist slowly. So it was all this thing where his car is moving fast. He's going around a corner, and the wave was so slow motion. I didn't know anymore if he was going fast or slow. It was awesome. Just very methodical, not super herky-jerky. It was an awesome hand wave. I think I want to start incorporating it. I just am such a frantic. Everything about me is frantic. I wave with 2 hands at you. But just a one, break the wrist and let it sit. It was an awesome hand wave. All right. That's what I got. That's Kelly's What Are You Into? Do I have comments I need to get to today? I did not look at this. I am so sorry. All right, let's see. Over at Sean'sLife.com. Oh, Miles had sent this a while ago. If you're getting back into Subway, always order through the app. There's always a code for a $6.99 sub, being whatever sub you want it to be. Really? They change it each month, so it takes a quick search for Subway code November 2025. I've read it, but it's always there. Until November 8th, it's footlong $6.99. Really? Miles? There's not going to be a better comment than that. Thank you, Miles. Everyone needs to check out the Miles Pfaff, P-F-A-F-F. Check out his podcast. It's been great. His podcast brings me so much joy each week. I love it. It's just great. Miles Pfaffcast. Check it out. Are there any comments over on Spotify? Yvonne said this: I like going out, but I get what you mean by channeling your kids. Yeah, going out with kids. Every 2 minutes is crazy. We went to Tomato Streets for Doug's birthday. They stopped by for a few times, but not that much. Yeah. Sorry. We're talking about waiters and waitresses. I don't even know if I talked about going out to dinner with my kids and it being crazy. I'm talking about the people coming to your table. Every 2 minutes is crazy. Went to Tomato Street for Doug's birthday. They stopped by a few times, but not that much. It's a fine line. It's a very fine line. You've got to teeter. Went to a newer place at Northern Quest for our anniversary. It was East Pan Asian cuisine. Then a Celtic Thunder concert. It was fun, and asked a couple of times if things were good. No hype, man. I love a good East Pan Asian cuisine spot, Yvonne. I'm glad you got to do that for your anniversary. That sounds like a ton of fun. Happy belated anniversary. That might have been months ago, but I didn't say it to you on the day of. Ian says this, listening in at 4 a.m. here. Suspectives is Werewolf or the inspiration behind Among Us. Yeah, that game from the Jackbox, it's supposed to be kind of like that. It's just not that good. Kimmers says this is from a week ago. Talking about sandwiches. We were talking about the Subway sandwiches, and Subway's doing their Thanksgiving ones. Kimmers says, Sean, you never had a gobbler sandwich before? That is the best day after Thanksgiving leftover there is. Here you go. Thanksgiving rolls or bread, little mayo dressing, hot or cold, cranberry sauce, turkey, hot or cold, little cream cheese, lettuce, or other veggies. I don't bastardize my gobbler with veggies. Sliced diagonally. Never, ever slice a sandwich any other way. So good. I believe they have them at the High Nooner Delis in Spokane if you have ever been there. Yes, love High Nooner, and they have the Thanksgiving sandwich. I do not remember what they called the Thanksgiving sandwich at High Nooner. An awesome place to go check out if you live in Spokane. But their sandwich that is the Thanksgiving sandwich is really cool. I've been looking up menus this whole time. High Nooner Spokane menu. Let me see what they got there. All right, here is what we've got. They have got, what is it called? I hope they still have it. Maybe it's just a specialty. Maybe it was just a special. That was like what they were known for a very long time was that sandwich. I'll be honest with you. I don't see it on the menu. I know it existed. Just like Kimmers knows it existed. Maybe it just wasn't one that they could keep up with because it was such a novelty item. So I wonder if they bring it back around Thanksgiving. Not the Sundown. Oh, yeah, it's the Sundowner. Sorry, the Sundowner. Breast of turkey, mayo, stuffing, cranberry, lettuce on a sub. The Sundowner. You got to check it out. It's good. All right, thank you for checking out the podcast today. I really appreciate it. Tell a friend about it if you like it. And then they can try it out. And let me know what your last meals are. And I find it to be a fun exercise. I don't know if other people do. I did it with Darnay. Darnay and I liked talking about this. Other people I talked to didn't care at all. It could be a fun conversation starter for you this weekend. I enjoy it. All right. Thanks for checking out the podcast. I appreciate it. See ya.